Okay, well, we're on our last part of the build here for the rebuild of the Kearney and Trekker knee. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fab up the new suction tube, and I've already got her screwed in right there. We're going to use this piece of 1/2-inch steel tubing, and we got a new fitting. I haven't tightened any of this stuff up yet, but I'm just showing you how it's configured. So we'll use a little thread sealant up here on the pipe threads, and we'll torque that in there. And then this is a flare fitting here. So we're gonna have to make a couple bends. I've got a bending tool right here for 1/2-inch tubing. So what we'll have to do is put us a mark. So what I would like to do is we'll bend this out. We'll bring it out, say 90 degrees this way, and then I want to take it 90 degrees this way. And our screen right here is going to sit right about this area, so just about like this. You know, I'll have it, it'll be down here just a little ways, but it's got to be above the bottom of this right here, because this just clears going in that knee once it goes in there. Now once it goes in and it clears that first housing, it actually drops down a little bit. So if I need to do some tweaking once it's up in there, I can do that. But I also have to watch how far back it goes. We've got approximately 13 inches of clear room, so it's going to sit in this area about like so. At 13 inches, one of the other lube lines run across and connect to the housing over here, so it'll be kind of sitting parallel to that other lube line in the back right there. And again, like I said, we can do a little tweaking afterwards if we need to. So that's the plan there. And then on the bottom side, showed you this already. This is another one of those fittings. What I'm going to do is put this in a lathe, and I'll part this end off, and we'll counter drill it a little bit, you know, with a 1/2-inch drill, and then we'll slip that in there. We're going to make a socket weld fitting out of this, and I'll slide it in there and weld it on. And at this point, I haven't decided how I'm going to weld it yet. I thought either silicon bronze, TIG, or maybe even silver braze. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and make the first mark, and I've got 2 of these, so if I screw the first one up, I got 1 more try. I hope it don't take me more than 2 tries, but I've got more of this stuff, so if I mess both of them up, I can have my coworker to help me flare it. I can have him make me up some more pieces. So, all right, I think I'm going to start. I'm going to get down here a little bit more level with it, and what I'm going to do is kind of hold the filter about where I need it. All right, so we'll start it just below those lines right there. All right, and we'll put us a 90 in it right there. All right, before we start bending up our tube, I'm going to go ahead and get the fitting Loctited up into the pump there. So I want to give that a little shake. This is a really good thread sealant for hydraulic fittings. Whatever excess comes off there, it's not going to damage your system. It'll actually dissolve in oil. We use our 13/16. Did I grab the right one? No. I want to make sure that I do get it tight enough to seal properly. I don't want it trying to suck air right there. All right, we should be getting there now. Give it one more. Snap. Nope. Got her. Okay, go ahead and start bending up our tube now. All right, here's our tubing bender. I don't get to use these all the time, so hopefully we'll make this work the first round here. All right, there's our mark that I put on there. I'm gonna line it up on the 0. Put that down behind it. All right, and then this guy, then we'll work our way around. And let me see. I want to come out. Let's just do a 90. Okay. All right, let me check that. See how it fits up. Okay, I think it's looking pretty good so far. I don't have it all the way screwed up, but the tube is about in there. Let's go ahead and just snug her up. Let's see, that was going to be a 7/8, I believe. That's going to be close enough. I don't need it real tight. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, all right, see our 13 inches is going to be here. So I think what I'd like to do is come to the very end of this bend right here and start over. If I can fit it in there, I'll have to see. I'm going to try to get it as close as I can to this bend, and then we'll go 90 degrees that way. So I could just put a little more bend in it and probably cut it off and do it, but I don't want it so close to the knee here. I want it back away from it just a little bit, so that later down the road, you know, I'll be able to come in here with my hand and make sure this thing is clean. I don't want it tucked up next to a bunch of parts. So we'll try to set it up past this radius right here and bend it 90 degrees the other way, okay? Yeah, I think that'll work for us, and we might have to tweak it a little bit. Okay, I think this will work. That's like it. I'm picturing it configured in the mill there, and I'm just getting this as tight as I can. That's about as close as I'm going to be able to get it right there. Are you down? There it is. Okay. Straight up and down. Actually, it is at a little bit of an angle on the machine. Okay, we got a couple degrees angle right there, lean. So let's go ahead and pull it the other way. All right, we'll just have to give it a shot and see. It might be too much. Let's check it out. Okay. Yeah, man, it's gonna be way out there now, I think. That ain't gonna work. It's too far back there. Yeah, we're at like 14 inches right here, so we're already an inch too far back. I need it to sit up in there. I'm thinking, make it a little more simple. I could probably just cut it off right here and tweak this bend a little bit more to make it more level, and just have it, it'll be just right there. I think that's about what I need to do instead of fighting it. So we'll just cut it off. I need to put a little bit more bend in it so that when I turn it, it'll actually bring it up some. All right, let me go take care of that now. Okay, we got her cut off, deburred, and filed on the outside and blown out real good, and I went ahead and tweaked the angle a little bit more. Let's try it again. It'll be, well, be like that, I guess. Let's see, we'll slip our fitting on. Let's just do this. So as far as stick out, okay, yeah, we're plenty good on stick out. We've got about 2 inches to spare, so we could actually, whenever we install it, kick it out about like that. That's kind of how it was originally when I pulled it out of there. So that'll be sitting about like so. Yeah. We could just kind of kick it at a little angle about like that. And I think that'd be good. So that's going to leave it not sitting on the bottom, and the oil level is going to be, comes up just to the bottom of this relief valve. It's just underneath where you adjust it right here. So I was trying to keep it off the bottom and not, you know, somewhere like centered on the oil level. Okay, so let's go ahead and modify our fitting now, okay? I thought I was going to be slick and hold this in one of my hex collets. I do have a 13/16 hard-inch collet, but it won't tighten down. I went and measured this, and the width of this is like 10 thousandths smaller than 13/16. So it's just too much for these collets right here. So remember this guide that I made for doing our testing? I'll use this, and we'll screw it in there and tighten it up, and we'll just hold it in this. So 1 3/16 collet. Okay, that should work pretty good there. Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, and then I'm gonna grab my drill bit. I'm just gonna iron drill it a little ways. Okay, I think that's going to be adequate there. Yeah. Okay, we'll stick it on there. We're going to clean it good. I actually want to, I'm going to go ahead and bead blast this because it's got that galvanized coating on it. And I decided we're going to use the silver braze method for this job. So I'm going to go get it cleaned up and clean this real good. And we'll go over there and we'll get it welded together. Okay, ready to do some brazing now. And as I said, we're going to do some silver brazing. I'm using a piece of, it's called Stay Still 45. And I hope that's plenty. That should be plenty to go. That's the only piece I got left. Alright, so we'll start with the fitting here. We've got it clean. Bead blasted it. So that's down to bare metal. This is the same fixture that you just seen me use that I'm going to use to hold it. So this is working out to be a pretty nice little tool. All right, and here's our tube. I sanded it, Scotch-Brited it, and then blew it out real good. But first, before we stick it in there, all right, here's our flux. All right, we've got the inside flux good, and then we're going to flux the tube also. Okay, all right, we're ready to go. Now, my tip that I'm using here, my torch tip, I use Smith. This is a number 5. Now, my next smallest one is a number 0, and this is actually a little bit too small to be doing that. It would work, but a number 5 would be a little easier. So we're going to use that. There it is. We'll let that cool. Should be a nice, firm, sealed up joint. Don't forget to turn your bottles off whenever you get through welding. Okay. It looks good. Once you get it hot enough to the proper temp, you can lay that rod. You can lay that rod on there, and it'll suck it down in there. It'll flow. It's a lot like silver soldering. I'm sure a lot of guys have done silver soldering, except this is a higher temp. This is more brazing temperature here. Okay, All right, I'm gonna go take it down there and let it cool in front of the fan, and then I'll do a little wire brush to clean it up, and we'll do a test fit. Okay. Okay, there's the suction tube after it's cooled and cleaned up. I just decided to blast it again, and then I blew it out with air really well, and then washed it with my fast evaporating cleaner. So it's clean and dry. There's no grit on it, but there's the weld, or the braze, should I say. Okay, let's go test fit it. All right. You got to feed it through here. You got to kind of pull the lines lightly and work it, and it finally it'll work its way through there. Come on, man. There it goes. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, that's pretty parallel. Maybe could tweak it just a tiny bit, but man, it's going to be close right there. I don't think it's going to get any better than that, man. I mean, it might be tricky just to get this thing through there where it's at now. I thought I was going to be a little too high, but I think we're there. So we'll just have to see once we go in the mill. I might end up having to, I think all I got to do, let me try this. We'll loosen that. Oh yeah, that's all I got to do. We can loosen it and spin it out like that to get this going into the mill, and then once it's in there and it's past the face part of the casting, and we get up in there, I can reach through the side access box right there, and then we can turn it in there and go ahead and give it its final torque up here on the fitting, like so. All right, guys. $13 so we can be comfortably right there, and that's not even going to be touching the, there's an oil line that's going to be running across the back right there. Okay. So your oil level, I left my scale down there. Oh, there it is. Oil level is going to be right up in this area somewhere. Just say, let's just call it right there. The bottom of that scale. Just call that going to be the top of the oil level. So we should be good to go. We'll be underneath the oil. And if I need to, I don't see where I'm going to need to, but if I have to, I can tweak that tube a little bit and bring it down just a skosh. I'm happy the way it turned out though, guys. So I'm gonna call this done. You know, all I got to do is just tighten this up, which is no problem. I'm gonna use my the 569 right here and tighten that up, and we'll be good to go. So last thing I got to do is I need to do some cleaning around this where the gasket was at. I'm going to clean that real good, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this up really well so that whenever I'm cleaning it, the crap's not falling down inside there. So we need to clean this up, and I got to do the same over on the knee. Get the face of that cleaned up. Make sure our little oil ports, our little oil holes are nice and cleaned out. And I think we'll be ready to go back together with this. So I'm hoping to have a little bit of help with from Gil. He said that he wants to come over and help me put it back together, so I'll be getting with him and coordinating that. So all right, until the next round of work, that's it for now.